Magandang gabi. Ako ay si Tito Goby. At tonight, we're going to do a reaction to Gameranx review of Nioh 3. Okay?
Welcome back to another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. Hi, folks, it's Falcon.
Hi,
Out of all the
Falcon.
subgenres of Souls-like, the Nioh-like has proven itself to be a consistent but sometimes unambitious alternative. Team
Ooh,
Ninja
look at
found
that.
something that worked with the original Nioh, and their games have been following that formula for about a decade now. Other than taking an open-world deviation with Rise of the Ronin, all of their games up to and including the core Nioh titles are pretty much the same formula. Wolong had the step parry, Strange of Paradise had job classes. I mean, it was a Final Fantasy game, which is mind-blowing. But beyond a few alterations here and there, it was pretty much
Wow,
Nioh.
okay.
With this third entry in the series, we're finally seeing some innovation. And all it took was a little game called Elden Ring to make it happen. We've now seen two Souls series come out only a week apart that have been heavily influenced by that game. But right from the start, I can tell you that Nioh does it a lot better. Like, a lot better. I don't just mean the Elden Ring stuff, either. I mean, Nioh 3 is an improvement in just about every single way. Nioh 3 is one of those games that just feels really good to play. You can really feel Team Ninja's experience with action games working in this series' favor. Everything's
This game, I haven't played the series, but it's kind of like Dark Souls, isn't it?
just so snappy, so responsive. Combat is just, it's buttery freaking smooth, guys. The overload of, like,
Oh, it reminds me also of that game. It was like popular. The one with the monkey. Let's see. It's here. The Monkey King game, I guess. Monkey King video. Yeah, this one. Oh, oh well, I'm a shot on it. But yeah, it's this one right here. That's what it reminds me of. Wala akong PlayStation 5. I don't have one, so I just like watching let's plays of these games, and they're very very interesting. They're games that I do want to play, but since I don't have a PlayStation 5, I can't. So I just end up watching them, like right there, like right now. I just kind of like just watch the reviews. But let's go back to the review. Okay, there we go.
systems and submenus. It's still there. I cannot imagine how confusing this is for somebody who has never played a Nioh game. Like, they throw so much stuff at you from minute one, but that's what you're getting with these games. If you like it or not, it's there. I think sometimes
You
the
have
game
to
is working despite
do a
these
lot of
things,
thinking.
and sometimes it's actually working because of them. But
Do
it's
a lot of
working.
reading.
That's the important part. As usual with this series, it's a game of two parts: super intense combat, broken up by a lot of futzing around in menus, and making a lot of necessary but ultimately minor stat adjustments to your character build. There's so many separate upgrade menus, not even counting the whole inventory system, which you constantly do need to check back in on because you're collecting tons of loot. That is, I mean, that's just common in this game at this point. That feels mostly unchanged. The needlessly complicated character building is just something you
Oh, there's so many windows on this game. It's so complicated. Pero for the price that you're paying for it, I think it's worth it because you're gonna like put in a lot of time learning all these windows and functions that unless you're like the kind of player that just likes to uh, sh- just like shoot a lot, I guess, or you just have like a 30 minutes to play kind of situation, then I don't think this would be good for your money. But if you got a lot of time, a lot of patience, I think, yeah, definitely, this would be a good part of your game collection. But yeah, there's so many windows on this, so many options.
You either jive with or you have to get over to enjoy the Nioh series. For my part, I mean, I don't normally like it, but for whatever reason, I like it in Nioh. It might be that it feels more rewarding here than in not just other Souls-likes, but other games. Like, it makes these games different from your average Souls-like, of course. Still, I can even understand why people complain about it. On average, you're spending a lot more time doing menu busy work in this than in any other Souls-like.
Look at that
And
map.
Nioh3 doesn't do anything to change that. But when it comes to the
I
actual
don't think the
game
map's that
part, the
big.
running around and killing stuff, that has never, ever been better. The semi-open world is a big breath of fresh air for the series. The addition of an entire alternate playstyle you can switch to with the press of a button, the ninja style. I mean, it has me thinking of frickin' Yakuza here. I know there's other games that do that.
You got
but that's what I
bows, you got
associate that with,
so
and
many
frankly, it fits
options.
in very well here. Also, being able to jump around is fun. It makes the levels more interesting. The bosses are some of the best in the series. I've always had a soft spot for Nioh. I think they're probably one of the better subgenres of Souls. Like, now we have subgenres. Now we have subgenres of Souls.
You get a pit? Is that a pit? It's a flying cat. Oh, it's one of those Baki Neko. It's a two-tailed cat.
Like, just a matter of a couple years ago, people were like, you say Souls like so much. And it's like, there's so many of them that you need to say more words to distinguish what the hell you're saying. Anyway, tangent aside, I think this is very possibly going to be the best one yet of the Nioh series. At least, that's my impression so far. This is, of course, a first impressions video. It is not a full review. I have not completed the game yet. I can't call this 100% definitive, but at this point, what I've played, I have to say I'd recommend it. Like, it's hard for me to imagine it going downhill to a point where it's not worth it anymore. I think fans of the series are gonna love it. It's like I said, I think it's the best.
I think it's a good
three,
buy.
but just fans of Souls-likes in general.
Look at that!
Challenging action RPGs. It's really good. Again, possibly the best
graphics.
Nioh, and therefore the best Team Ninja Souls-like yet. It does have
It's
its
very
fair share of
emerging.
flaws, but they're not the kinds of flaws you can't ignore. The game is so much fun to play, it doesn't really matter. And believe it or not, the PC version is actually well optimized, which is not
it has a
something
PC
I
version.
expected in the least. So if your primary concern is if they screwed up, put those worries to rest. The game is the real deal. It is the opposite of screwing
I'll
up.
probably get it.
Screwing down? I don't know. That may not be the opposite. If that's the
has a
opposite, then
PC
it's that.
version,
If not,
okay.
it's just a really good game. It's been a while since the second game, too, so if you're unfamiliar with the Nioh series, here's a quick summary. It is, of course, a Souls-like. It's set in a historical Japanese setting. There are real-world figures in here, but don't expect to learn anything. I don't know if you consider learning historical things while playing video.
And now I finally remembered the name. Wukong. That's the other one, right? It's right there. Wukong.
Game's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's not happening here. It is
See that? You get a pet. It gives you aura or something, right?
not designed to teach you things. I think the historical stuff
That guy
just
has
helps
something on his side
easier
also, like
to fill
that.
things out.
Ooh, it's a
nice little
monster.
bonus for people who already know the stuff. Of course, there's random loot that is divisive, but I mean it's there. That's a fundamental component of the Nioh-like formula. In the old games, there's a very linear structure. You are generally going level to level. That is, of course, not the case here. But I'm just explaining the series.
The funny thing is
The
that
plot's
the village,
totally
there's nobody in the
incoherent.
village.
The stats
So
are
it's
crunchy. The boss
definitely
fights
like
are the
a
highlights. At least
Souls-like
if they're
game.
not a difficulty spike boss, then they're just gonna block your progress and you're just gonna get mad.
Oh,
But
what is
if
he
you
using?
Channel that rage. You will harness an incredible.
He's using
power.
a-
The series is known for the complexity of its
oh, wow,
combat
he just
mechanics.
turned into
There's
a
3
samurai.
different stances. Every weapon has its own unique skill tree, special moves, mechanics. It's
Wow.
all here, and there's this ubiquitous key pulse ability that's essential for keeping your stamina bar filled. There's special guardian spirits. There's
Guardian
weapon
spirits.
attacks.
Okay,
Nioh3
so you do
has
get a pet.
all of this and more, and they add in a third strong
Weasel.
attack ability that recharges when performing attacks. So at any given moment, you have 3 separate skills recharging that you can unleash at any moment. The third game rolls back a little bit of the complexity of the weapon skill trees in an attempt to simplify things, but I wouldn't call it a full-throated attempt at streamlining the weapon skill trees. It is a little simpler. Point is, game has a ton of depth to the basic combat, and even more with the addition of the ninja stance, which has its own weapons, armor, skills, everything, and being able to switch to it instantly gives you so many options when it comes to engaging with
Sneak
the situation
attack.
that I could see it be overwhelming
Slap in the face.
for certain people, particularly people new to the series. I would call this a big issue if Nioh3 tossed you in the deep end right from the start, but for a Souls-like, this is probably one of the most forgiving in the opening hours. And in general, I would say that Nioh3 is probably the easiest game in the trilogy so far. Like I
Easy. That looks easy. Oh man. Yeah. I'll probably take a year or two to finish this game, if that's what you call easy. Yeah. I love the graphics. I love the atmosphere. I love the characters, the options, but I think it's a little bit too much hardcore for me. I don't have the time. I gotta go to work.
said, I haven't beaten it yet, but the boss encounters, I would say the hardest one was actually the first one, and that was partly because I was still adjusting to the mechanics, figuring out timing, particularly on the boss
Look at that.
counter mechanic. It's not another parry-heavy Sekiro game. The only real counters you need to learn are the ones where your enemy glows red.
Ooh.
They're heavily telegraphed. They give you the biggest bonuses for hitting them.
Ooh.
And while the game does have parry mechanics, they're not really as essential
look at that
as
monster.
a lot of post-Sekiro Souls-likes and their parries. Don't get me
Okay. I never seen this in a Japanese lore before. I don't know what kind of monster this is with snake tails on it? Is it like a monkey with
You're
snake
wrong, though.
tails?
Bosses are tough. They're fast, they're often relentless, but this game gives you a lot of tools that do make things easier. Co-op is still an option, but now you can also summon NPCs of other players to assist you with fights, and bosses either don't scale or scale very little when you bring in some help. So the fights are generally not too bad. The game gives you a lot that you can do before even fighting them. But you're
Oh,
never
there you
forced
go.
to
I
stop
forgot.
and grind before a
Those
boss
the
to,
weapon he
catch
was
up,
using
because
are
in
night
Nioh3 you can just
sticks,
go and do
right?
something else, which brings us to the biggest change: the open world. Between the more linear segments of the game, which there are still a lot of. So if you're less enthusiastic about open world stuff, don't worry. It's not a big change to the Nioh formula outside of
It's an
sort of the
open world,
connective
but
tissue of
I don't think the map was the map I saw wasn't really that big. But I don't know if it opens up a bit more in after you level up a little bit more, but it doesn't look like it's that big.
of it, and other stuff to do. Like, it never goes full Elden Ring. It's more like there's 4 large non-linear levels to explore with
There you go. There's four of them. Okay.
some Ubisoft style points of interest to check out. The levels are small enough to still feel carefully designed, with little secrets and optional routes to go
Yeah, there you go. I called it.
down, but open enough that you can tackle them from multiple angles. There is a little bit of repetitive open world fluff. I'm not going to say there isn't. Like, there is straight up outposts full of enemies that you will need to clear out, but being able to sneak around stabbing guys Assassin's Creed style, it's pretty refreshing in this game. The open world activities actually help break things up in a way that
Can you
appreciate.
like,
I'm
it
not saying they're,
dodges.
substantially
And it
better
falls
than
also.
other games. They're just contextualized with better stuff. Like, they feel, again, maybe a little more satisfying just because contextually, like, they're part of something bigger, and something smaller
just
is
bit of-
attached to those things to pad out the
it's a slime,
playtime,
okay.
if that makes sense. There's also mini objectives, target
okay.
shooting, chasing cat ball yokai, and the occasional enemy gauntlet, but it's fun, and these things reward you for completing stuff, and the rewards are worth the effort. These more open levels are,
There you
I would
go.
say, a pretty major
Headshot.
contributing factor for why Nioh3 is the easiest game in the series. They allow you to far
The funny thing about these games, you got so many people out and about. You kill somebody, and they don't even notice.
Are outpace the recommended level at any given time. And this being Nioh, where your level and the quality of your equipment can make a huge
The guy's being shot by arrows, and those two guys were just standing there still talking. Okay, that was immersion breaking.
huge difference. Being able to outlevel the main story quests before you get to them turns even the most intimidating bosses into chumps. Like, if you do that, they're bozos, they're jabronis. Just imagine any amazing insult. That's what the bosses turn into. Of course, it's totally up to you whether you decide to do that. If you clear out the more open levels, you will make things easier for yourself. Or if you barrel on underprepared and underleveled, like it's refreshing. The option is there, honestly. Some people
undead,
like
of
one way,
course.
some people like the other. And some people like both. I'm not even complaining. One of the things I like about the absolute
Ooh, you
best
get guns.
Souls-likes is that they do give you the option.
got
You can go
muskets.
do something else if the path gets too difficult. As much as I do appreciate a good challenge, it's nice to at least know there's another option available. So if you don't want to slam your head against a brick wall to just push past a boss fight, blocking your progress, you don't have to. Now, I'm not telling you this is an easy game. It just gives you options. I think that's the way to go in my book, pretty much every time. As usual with these games, if you progress through the stages, they generally get easier and you unlock more healing and more skill mastery. And I mean, the stages are usually pretty easy. The bosses remain the real challenge. Still, one thing I have to give to Nioh3 is that at least so far, the variety of enemies is a really big improvement over past entries. The most disappointing thing about the series is they tend to run out of new enemies by around the halfway point. Second half of the game has you slogging through it all like old bad guys, small selection. Nioh3 so far seems to have a lot more monsters to help keep combat fresh. Level design surprised me too. It's easily some of the series' best. These games never had bad levels, but they can get a little samey after a while. Mostly still the same villages, caves, castles.
Why are you going after
the time
first?
travel
You go
gimmick
with-
allows a much greater
this-
diversity of
yes,
locations to
it's
explore
easier
from,
to kill,
and the
right?
different time periods actually feel different. There seems to be a pretty concerted effort to make every major location feel unique and distinct, and it's really hard not to appreciate that because it goes a long way. When it comes to evoking feelings of mystery and discovery, it's nothing like Elden Ring. But that's not what they're going for here. It's a satisfying loop. Finding a chest or uncovering a hidden Kodama, that extends your healing capacity, that kind of thing. Most of the loot is random, but some of the static rewards that you get are still pretty good. Any of the items you use to unlock new samurai or ninja skills are really satisfying. They feel good when you come across them. Oh, and it all looks really good. Like, you've been looking at it this whole time, and I'm sure you've observed. It's not like these are cutting-edge games. Nioh3 is not the bleeding edge of technological prowess. But like previous entries, it looks good without being particularly flashy. It's good art design, good level design. Everything gels very well. The important thing, though, is the performance, and in my experience, it has been absolutely excellent. Even on PC, which is how I've primarily been playing it, the Nioh...
Whoa, okay, let's go back. See, like I was saying, the map doesn't look that big. It does open up though, so you got like 4 sections of the map. Okay.
PC, which is how I've primarily been playing it. The Nioh series is the series Koei Tecmo probably puts the most work into. There are other games like Strangers of Paradise, World War Rise, Ronin, can look kind of cheap compared to this game with some ugly texture work, some bad lighting, a little bit of lazy environmental design, but this game is just solid across the board. The open world segments pretty much look great. Like, character models look great. That's standard at this point for the series. The character creator also gives you a ton of options. Not quite as robust as Code Vein 2's, but very few character creators are that robust. If you're hoping they'd finally attempt to tell a story that makes sense, that is probably going to lead to disappointment, but I mean, I wasn't. The story's complete nonsense. It's impossible to follow if you're not already at least passively familiar with Japanese history. Like I said, it's more of a bonus for people who already know it, rather than something that's going to help you learn. I mean, it's not going to help you at all. In terms of narrative, like, it's crazy. And then you throw in time travel. I mean, it makes the story very disjointed and completely incoherent, but it doesn't matter. Like, the plot is kind of, it's there to have the aesthetic of having a plot. Like, I'm glad it's there. I don't need to understand it. It serves a function and it serves it well. I don't ever feel like the game needs to be better in that area. And also, ultimately, another evil yokai is causing trouble and you have to stop him. Like, that's, it's got the depth of a Legend of Zelda story, except for there's a lot more characters and cutscenes, and they try to act like it's not that. I mean, I don't want to call a Zelda story shallow, but, like, it's certainly not deep. A Zelda story is economical. This is, I mean, it has the same amount of story,
Bad guy,
but it has a
you go
lot
after
more
bad guy,
narrative.
you kill bad
Does that
guy.
make sense? Doesn't matter. I'm only describing it because I'm trying to tell you as much as I can about the game. It is not something that interferes with my enjoyment of it, nor is it something that I really honestly care a lot about. This is, I mean, up till this point, very possibly the best game in the series. And that means it's very much a Nioh game. It's a better Nioh game, but it's very much a Nioh game. The incoherent story. You might love or hate the random loot. You might like the end game where the loot matters. You might not. I'm not going to tell you the loot gets interesting during the main game. I have not seen it get interesting during the main game. So if you hate that system, the loot system, I mean, there's nothing here to change your mind. The variety of weapons, though, is fantastic. There's so many ways to
You
build
get
a character
hammers,
that are
your
satisfying.
axes, you got
Mechanically,
swords.
the series has just never been better. The level design, again, some of the series' best as well. Boss fights are excellent across the board. There's the usual few that aren't that great, or at least go by quickly, and the ones that are great are intense, thrilling, or satisfying when you finally beat them. While there are no difficulty options, you have more options than ever to make things as difficult or relatively easy as you want, which makes this probably the most approachable Nioh game so far. It's tough, and mechanically it's pretty complex, but as long as you're willing to engage with it, no challenge is insurmountable. Nioh3 is a big step up for the series. It makes a lot of major changes to the formula, and it doesn't lose the series identity.
I want it, but I don't have
series.
time
Maybe
to play
for
it.
some, it's maybe a not big enough deviation from the norm. The loot system is, like I said, it's exactly the same as the others, and that's going to be a problem for people who absolutely hate it. But everything else about this game, for me, is a really big confident step forward for the franchise and Team Ninja alike.
Okay. His review is almost over, but I'd say I give it a good 9 out of 10. Don't you think? Let's see. He'll probably give a ranking since it's already close, but let's see.
What do you think, though? Leave us a comment. Let us know. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. Join the 1% Club by clicking the button. That gets you exclusive access to the weekly Falcon Show every Saturday. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time right here on Gameranx.
There we go. But, you know, I'd say it's a good solid 9 out of 10. You know, even though he didn't give a rating to it, it looks good. Definitely looks good. And wow, I just wonder how much would it cost? Nioh3. Let's do a search. That big. There we go. Yep. Nioh3 video game. It's on Steam. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you can see it. Steam charts. Wow. How am I gonna do this? I don't know if I can show it to you. Click it here. No. Oh, anyway, I'll just read it to you. I don't think I can like move my head that much further, but on Steam it's a 9 out of 10. IGN gives it a 9 out of 10. Tom's Guide, I don't know what Tom's Guide is, he gives it a 4 out of 5, so it's not bad. Let's see. I'm not gonna change the date. I don't want people to know how old I am exactly, but I'm gonna go here. There we go. That's my year.
foolish of you to have entered the depths of hell.
Enter the gates. Download free demo. Oh, I could probably try it. Let's see. Let's go down. Let's go down. And Nioh3 demo. Okay, I could probably try it out. See if I do get into it. But look at the price. The price is early purchase bonus. Early purchase bonus. Oh wow. It's $69.99 on Steam. Well, $70. $70. For that price, I really need to give time for this game, but I don't have much time thanks to well. But let's see. The digital deluxe edition early purchase bonus, $199, $110. $110. Oh my god. Ooh, I won't be eating lunch for a while for that price. Sorry. I'll probably just try out the demo. I'll wait until the sale. But yeah, definitely, it's a real nice game. I want it. I want it. Let's see. Okay, I'm not done. That's this for $40, $39.99. Add all DLC to cart. What DLC? There's still DLC on it? Equipment, season pass, DLC 1, DLC 2. What? By also season 3 pass. I don't get it. Why? There's a lot of. Wow, they're making bank on this game. I suggest if you can afford it, get it. I know I can't, but I want it. All right, you guys, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching, and bye.